All right, we are live. It is Aloha Friday, November 8th, 2024. And I am the Salty Boomer. And this is where we scroll X and check up what's going on in the news and current events. And we talk about it and see what's going on in the world. And today we're going to start with some things I found. And the first one is CNN. CNN's Ashley Allison is unhappy about X disrupting the legacy media monopoly. And Elon Musk's "You are the media now" post. So let's hear the little meltdown that CNN is having about we the people being the media now. She's sad. She's got the sads because the legacy fake corporate media, I'm not going to call them the mainstream media anymore. They are the fake corporate media. And they have the sads because we the people are the media now, especially on X. We can change policy. We the people are back in charge. All right, let's listen to CNN whine for a minute, 13 seconds.
I think, the question is that we all have to grapple with is, right after it was very clear Donald Trump was the president-elect, he starts tweeting like, "You are the new media" to all of the folks on X, like CNN, mainstream media is extinct. And this was our plan to ruin. And I think that platforms like X and Facebook and all the social media platforms do help when they're used properly to democratize microphones for people to have a voice. But it is very clear since Elon has taken over that the algorithms are working in a couple of ways that are causing greater division in our community. Scott and I sometimes sit next to each other and he has a totally different feed than I have because we're getting fed things that it thinks we want. Right. And they're very polarizing our feeds. And then we also have people who get lifted up more and they happen to be people who agree with Donald Trump, and people who don't agree with Donald Trump get shadow banned. That's not really the media. That's a platform, and you can do whatever you want, but the influence that it does have, I'm not just talking about Twitter. I'm talking about TikTok. I'm talking about Instagram. I'm talking about Facebook. There's an issue here.
There's an issue here, she says over at CNN, because the fake corporate media no longer has the stranglehold on information. They no longer can control the narrative because of X. And we the people media can get the truth out before they can propagandize it. And they are very much butthurt about that over at CNN. Now, this little tidbit I came across, I have no idea if there's anything to this or not. But this would be interesting. Speaking of CNN, oh, well, I guess that's that. That answers my question was this true or not? And what this was this guy was saying that Elon Musk had bought CNN. But since that is now gone and deleted, I would have to say that was not a true post. I was wondering about it, but I guess we have the answer now. Okay, let's hear what Donald Trump has plans to end the deep state. I love that this guy is coming out here and going all in right off the bat. Let's hear what Donald Trump, what his plans are to end the deep state.
Here's my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington.
And just to be clear, the deep state is the unelected bureaucrats unknown, unnamed, and unelected that run the NGOs, which are non-government organizations, where all this political money goes to, and the lobbyists are involved, and the giant web of corruption that they just rotate around in. That's what the deep state is. Unelected, unnamed, unknown bureaucrats. Okay.
Corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there are plenty of them.
Yeah, I'll bet there's plenty of them, like the JFK assassination, like the P. Diddy list, like the Jeffrey Epstein list. Yeah, let's go. Declassify and show them all.
Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth, we will make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee, so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Seventh, I will ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign.
Yeah, and another thing he needs to do is to repeal Obama's Smith-Mundt Modernization Act that made it legal for the press, the fake corporate media, to lie to you. It made propaganda legal. He needs to get rid of that too.
Eighth, we will continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado, as many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these companies and they regulate these companies, and then they want to take jobs from these companies. Doesn't work that way.
Exactly. However, right now it does work that way. The people that are working in the FDA wind up with big cushy jobs at Moderna or Pfizer. And CDC, same way. They get cushy jobs at some pharmaceutical company. And it's just one gigantic revolving door of corruption that needs to end.
Such a public display cannot go on, and it's taking place all the time, like with Big Pharma. Finally, I will push a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. This is how I will shatter the deep state.
Term limits for Congress. Finally, somebody said it. Now, him being able to get Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate, to actually vote themselves out of office to pass a law and limit their terms in there, that if he gets that done, I will be impressed.
And restore government that is controlled by the people and for the people. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good message. I agree with everything he's going to do there, and he can even do more, as I pointed out. So that was yesterday. Today, he came out with this one of how he's going to tackle censorship. Oh, that's not it. That's the wrong one. Let's see what I got going on here. Oh, no. No. Shoot. I don't know how I did that, but I do not have that one. That's too bad. Because he had another one, a video just like that came out today, on steps on how it was going to take care of the censorship problem with all the platforms. But I must have put the wrong URL in. So what we have now instead is unburdened by what has been. And here it is, folks. They are painting over Kamala's mural. And this is a car driving by. Unburdened by what has been. There we go. All right. Well, it's too bad I lost that URL for the Trump speech on how he was going to deal with censorship, because that was a good one. However, Donald Trump's campaign manager, Susie Wiles, has been named chief of staff. She is the first female chief of staff in history. Wiles has been credited for running what is seen as Trump's most sophisticated and disciplined campaign. She is someone who makes Donald Trump feel comfortable. She is also someone who has really lasted the longest in Trump's orbit. She has been loyal to the former president. Calling Mark Cuban, Susie Wiles, a woman, has been named the first woman chief of staff in history. Where is Mark Cuban that said these people, these Republicans are afraid of strong, independent women? Where you at, Mark? Guess that was all bullshit too, huh? First woman chief of staff. That's pretty big, if you ask me. Mark Cuban is hiding in his closet. All right, here we have Cobra Tate saying goodbye to all the celebrities that said they were going to leave and what they should do about it.
People who said,
let's see what he has to say for the next minute and a half. That should be interesting.
in fact, I have a long list here of all the people who said they were going to leave America if Trump wins. Let's read out all these names. Alec Baldwin, fuck off. Whoopi Goldberg, fuck off. John Legend, fuck off. Chrissy Teigen, his stupid whore wife, who's a terrible person, you can fuck off too. Rob Reiner, fuck off. Barbara Streisand hasn't had a song since 1931, you can fuck off. Nancy Pelosi, fuck off. Hillary Clinton, the most evil woman in history, fuck off. Megan Rapinoe, fuck off. Tom Hanks, fuck off. The only thing you ever did good, Tom, was play a retard. No coincidence. Amy Schumer, fuck off. AOC, fuck off. Lady Gaga, fuck off. Taylor Swift, Bill Gates, Jane Fonda, Madonna can all fuck off. Mark Ruffalo, I don't know why they chose you to be the Incredible Hulk, because you're clearly a little pussy. Fuck off. Kim Kardashian, fuck off. Bruce Springsteen can fuck off. George Clooney can fuck off. Hunter Biden, he doesn't even know what fucking day of the week it is, but he can fuck off anyway. Oprah can fuck off. Robert De Niro can fuck off. Samuel L. Jackson, I used to think you were cool, but I'm afraid you now have to fuck off. Miley Cyrus, Travis Kelce, Bobby Altoff, Rashida Tlaib, Stormy Daniels, Anthony Fauci. We don't want you here, Fauci. You're a fucking liar. All of you can fuck off. off. George Soros can fuck off. Eminem, Ellen, Sean Penn, Sharon Stone, Ashley Judd, Tommy Lee, Bryan Cranston. Imagine going from Walter White to a little liberal fucking dickhead. Fuck off. Billy Joe Armstrong can fuck off. And Bono's gonna drive his car off a cliff. That's the list of people I would have kicked out anyway. So fuck off.
Okay. I like that list. Yeah. Now let's see them all go ahead and do what they say they're going to do. All right. Let's move on. The lefty liberal women are going insane. It's mostly white women. White liberal women are all absolutely out of their minds. Yeah, they're shaving their heads. And we got to see something. What? And someone else pointed this out. What is this? What is this hanging in the closet right here? Is that a body? One of those fake sex dolls? What exactly is that? These women are shaving their heads, so they're marking themselves. So normal guys know to stay away from them. It's like in nature with insects and bugs and creatures that are really brightly lit up with all kinds of weird colors. It's to tell the other animals that they're poisonous. That's what these women are doing that are cutting their hair off. They're labeling themselves as psychos, and normal men will know not to bother with them. It's really perfect that they're letting us know. Now keep an eye on this thing. What is this?
Just an appendage, lip to attendance, so that he never lifts a finger. 24/7 baby machine, so he can live out his picket fence dreams. It's not an.
She thinks she's doing this big act of revolt against, I don't know. I guess she thinks men are gonna. I don't know what the point of it is, but I know the point of it is for us. And Patriotic Kitty is the one that pointed this out. I didn't see it the original time. There it is. What is this thing hanging in the closet behind her? These people are psychos, man. Go ahead, cut your hair off. Who gives a shit? And speaking of psychos, here's just a small idea of what goes on from the left on X. So I'm not going to be able to read these because you can't say these words. But we'll go ahead. You can see it. There's 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes and 30 seconds of these threats against Trump from the leftists. But that's fine, I guess. You know, they can do that. But the minute anyone in Trump supporter says anything they don't like, oh my goodness, it's the end of the world. The tolerant left is only tolerant if you agree with everything they say. So there's 10 minutes of this. So there's the first one. Here you go. You can read that. Nate Claren says that. HM says this. See? No problem there, right? No problem there. Curb says this. We have to gather up. So you kind of get an idea what's going on here. This guy's really lost control of himself. I mean, you get the point here. This video goes on for 10 minutes and 33 seconds of this. And we're the problem. We're the problem, right? Something has happened to these people's brains. They've been so brainwashed, so programmed. They live in such an information bubble that they really think everything that CNN and MSNBC told them is going to happen. And you can't leave out the other ones, ABC, NBC, CBS, New York Times, Washington Post, The Atlantic, Time Magazine, all of them. They're getting misinformation from all of the fake corporate media. And it has made these people insane. However, this is what's happening. Some of them are coming out of it. Here is Linda. Our side lost, the leftist, because of the intolerance of the tolerant left. If you don't see that, then we will keep losing. Now, this is a woman that's a Democrat and a leftist. She's figuring it out. And a lot of other people are seeing it too. They've been brainwashed and programmed. People didn't vote for Trump. They voted against you. They voted against your, if you don't agree with me, then you're my enemy mentality. They voted against your need to have an echo chamber or risk being canceled. They voted against being attacked for a difference in opinion. They voted against being called pedos, racists, homophobes, Nazis, simply for disagreeing with you. They voted for the right to keep you out of decisions for their children. They voted against having to walk on eggshells for fear of offending someone. I don't care who I piss off by saying this. Step out of the tunnel vision and have a civil conversation with folks and take responsibility for your part in pushing people who are on the fence to vote against you. Absolutely, Linda. Bravo for having an open mind and coming out and saying that, because that's exactly it. And you still have these talking heads on the fake corporate media saying, oh, well, they've got all the podcasts, they've got all this, they've got all that. They literally have every piece of media except for X. And they can't figure it out. Well, this woman has figured it out. And she says, and here come the tolerant left to prove my point. Exactly. And that's exactly why they lose. And it's guys like this, too. Perfect example of another reason that the lefties lose. Dr. Randall Heskett has an institute in Colorado which offers courses. He's much better and smarter than you because he's educated and has 3 master's degrees and a PhD. What is PhD? Posthole digger? I don't know what that is. But here he is. This doctor wants everyone to know that he's a lot smarter than them.
Hey, I'm in Walmart looking for a battery charger, and I happen to wear my Harris hat
Is this up all the way? Yeah.
today, and people are giving me the dirtiest looks. Then the guy who was helping me at Walmart gave me the dirtiest looks and made a snide remark. And I said, sir, I have 3 masters and a PhD and a published book on politics. I know a little bit about politics.
Well, isn't that something? 3 degrees, a master, a PhD, he wrote a book. He knows about politics. Too bad you don't know nothing about people and common sense. I have found that the more educated you are, the more indoctrinated you are, and the less common sense you have. Book smart equals street dumb. And these people do not see it because they're overeducated. And every time you say educated, it means indoctrinated. All right, let's move on from Dr. Fancy Pants, Mr. Big Brain there, and check out this new monument that just went up in Washington, D.C. This is rather strange. Let's see what this is all about. There's the White House.
What I'm about to show you, this is why you have to get out early in the morning. That's why I'm a morning person. First, let me give you a description. Am I getting some love? Let me give you a description. This is the desk of Nancy Pelosi when she was Speaker of the House. This is a new monument on the Capitol grounds, just arrived. You see this name? Nancy Pelosi. Let me show you. This is the phone, and this is poop. This is a turd. You know what a turd is? This is a turd. Now take a look around. This is what the part you got to see. This is a new statue on the mall. You can't make this up. This is her desk. Now I've got to read to you. The inscription on the monument. Let me read it to you. This memorial honors the brave men and women who broke into the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021 to loot, urinate, and defecate throughout those hollow halls in order to overturn an election. President Trump celebrates these heroes of January 6 as unbelievable patriots and warriors. This monument stands as a testament to their daring sacrifice and lasting legacy. Man, oh man, you cannot make this up. This is America. This is a new, listen, if you want to see the location, this is the fence of the Washington Monument, and this is where the memorial is with a turd. Listen, you cannot, it's so unbelievable. It is unbelievable that this is on the mall. If I tried to describe this to you, you wouldn't believe me. Just take a look. As I walk around inside, there's the telephone. I'm just wondering if she's calling the National Guard. You think Nancy's calling the National Guard? We need more descriptions of what actually Nancy was doing at the time of January 6th, whether she was calling the National Guard, as the former President Trump asked her to. But listen.
So there you go. There's a new monument in Washington, D.C. All right, moving on. Let's see what else is going on with Kamala Harris. CNN calls on Joe Biden to nominate Kamala Harris to the Supreme Court before his term concludes.
I hope.
Here we go. CNN and MSNBC, the two biggest providers of fake news and propaganda.
Liberal. And so I hope that Joe Biden makes the next 10 weeks as consequential as he can. I don't care about drawing outside the lines or what.
He doesn't care about drawing outside the lines. What happened to the unity that they were calling for yesterday? I guess that's all gone.
Republicans may think about it. This is within your purview. You can actually do it, and you should do it. And, one more thing, John, is you have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court and let Republicans go crazy.
Look at their faces. Oh, like they're pretending like they didn't already know that this is what he was going to say. This is how fake it all is. They know what this guy's going to say before they even get on air. Look at him. Oh, whoa, what are you saying to me? Did you think Kamala Harris should be on the Supreme Court? Listen to this doofus.
An eighth. I'm even mentioning that option.
You floating? Are you floating? This is 7:39 a.m. on the East Coast. Did Bakari Sellers just float Vice President Kamala Harris as a potential Supreme Court nominee?
What a phony fuck. They know what these people are going to say. Oh, are you saying to me that you're floating? I hope they do. I hope Sotomayor does resign. And Potato Head Biden tries to put Kamala on the Supreme Court, and they run out of time because the Senate doesn't approve her. Then we immediately get another conservative justice on the court. Can't wait. Go ahead. Do it. All right. Now, let's see what else. Here's another guy or gal, I'm not sure, that is finally figuring out that the news is fake. Lots of people are finally figuring out. I really did think the X algo was fine-tuned to surface and promote right-wing content. But given yesterday's blowout, I have to concede that it must have just have been showing the majority opinion this whole time. Everyone on Reddit and Instagram is shocked. Nobody here on X seems fazed at all. Another one, figuring it out. It's actually been jarring and narrative breaking for me to find out so many people actually thought Kamala had this in the bag. I would have figured people were hoping for a close runoff, but apparently Reddit thought it was going to be a blue wave. It feels crazy to me. Yeah, and then you read through these comments, and here's a guy, Ryan Scanlon. It's the opposite of an echo chamber because everyone is free to speak their mind. He's talking about X. Reddit and Threads and other people are unifiers around rich man bad and ostracize those who don't groupthink. Yeah, you can't post anything on Reddit that is out of the ordinary. If it's against their agenda, you can't put it on Reddit or Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else. Anywhere else. That's why X is the spot for news nowadays. It is literally the only place that you can actually get free speech. And it's not perfect, but it's the only one. I mean, YouTube's ridiculous. That thing's gone. All right, here we go. Liberals who are totally against guns are now preparing to create their own militias.
Devastated,
Disappointed,
distraught,
cannot believe our fellow countrymen.
and goddamn democratic. We're not done.
We're
We're
not
going to
done.
find out how to resist this. We might have to have our own militias now. And the midterms, just watch out. We're coming.
Might have to have their own militias now. Watch out. We're coming. Uh-huh. Do you even know what end of a gun to hold? All right, let's see this one. The revolving door of corruption, which I talked about earlier. Between 2006 and 2019, 9 out of the 10 FDA commissioners went on to work for pharmaceutical companies that they were in charge of regulating. That's what Trump was talking about in his plan to get rid of the deep state. Here's Mark McClellan. On the left is the former FDA commissioner, Mark McClellan, in charge of regulating Johnson & Johnson. On the right is the current member of the board of directors of Johnson & Johnson. Same guy. He went from FDA commissioner, from regulating Johnson & Johnson, to being on their board. Isn't that a nice, cozy relationship? Scott Gottlieb. On the left is the former FDA commissioner, Scott Gottlieb. On the right is a current member of the board of directors of Pfizer. How about that? He went from regulating Pfizer to being on the board of directors at Pfizer with a nice, cushy appointment. One gigantic web of revolving door corruption. Stephen Hahn. On the left is the former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Moderna, Stephen Hahn. On the right is the current chief medical officer of Flagship Pioneering, the venture capital firm behind Moderna. Isn't that interesting? And I'll tell you something else that is interesting. Before Moderna came out with their product, that was approved, by the way, they had never, ever had a product of any kind approved for human consumption. Any kind, ever. This was their first product that they brought to market. And it just happened to be the old jibby jab for the thingamajig. Interesting too, Moderna, mRNA. Probably just a coincidence. James C. Smith. On the left is the CEO of Reuters, in charge of informing people about that. Head of Reuters, news organization. On the right is a current member of the board of directors of Pfizer. Same guy, in charge of news about Pfizer. He's also a board member. One gigantic revolving door and web of corruption. Anthony Fauci. On the left is NIAID director under the National Institutes of Health. On the right is the funder of bioweapons research on gain of function. I'm not even going to go into all that. I probably should stay away from him entirely, but you get the point. These people just go from company to company, patting each other on the back, a little wink and a nod, and there you go, revolving door of corruption. All right, that's about all I wanted to show you. So let's now just go ahead and go live on X and see what is going on right now in the news. Cernovich says, what does the United States get out of being in NATO? Don't give me your 105 IQ level PowerPoint slides on rules-based international order, corporate word salad. How does my country, America, benefit from protecting these anti-freedom European freeloaders? Exactly. We need people who are America first and America only. Why do we? Where's all the other countries that give us money to help us out? Why are we the only ones that take your money? It's not even theirs. The government has no money. They don't produce anything. They take your money and give it to other countries that they feel is fit. Is that representing you? I don't think so. No other country does that for us. They wouldn't even consider it. Why do we have to be in charge of everything? Get rid of all our army bases, get rid of all that crap. Build a gigantic border around our country, and let's take care of our people. We have homeless vets everywhere. They need help. There are homeless people everywhere. I understand a lot of them, that's how they want to live. Okay, fine. But let's help the ones that want help. We have all this money, hundreds of billions of dollars. Do you remember when Trump's first term, he wanted $5 billion to build the wall? The Democrats lost their minds. We can't afford that. That's the taxpayers' money, blah, blah, blah. We're well over $100 billion into Ukraine right now. That's not our war. That's not our problem. Why are we giving them hundreds of billions of dollars instead of taking care of our own citizens, our own people? It's outrageous. Okay, moving on. All right, let's move on. See what else we got going on here. Libs of TikTok. Sarah Murray, a school committee member for Millbury Woolies in Massachusetts, reportedly posted online she hopes Trump supporters choke on a piece of shit covered in broken glass. A school committee member in Massachusetts. See, the problem with these people posting their stuff publicly like this is libs of TikTok finds it. And she gets death threats because she posts and points out what these people have already posted. They're the ones that posted this, not her. And what happens is this stuff goes viral quickly. And these people wind up losing their jobs. That's what happens. Be careful what don't overload your ass with your mouth. Democrat Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker vows to block Donald Trump administration initiatives. The General Assembly and I took proactive steps to plan for the potential of a second Trump presidency and protect our residents from the damage that it may attempt to cause. And what he's talking about, big, fat blob, he'll probably be the next health secretary, is protecting illegal immigrants. He's not talking about citizens. He's not talking about his constituents. He's talking about illegal immigrants who are the next, what they think are the next wave of voters. The whole thing about the border being open is that the Democrats need new voters. They have lost the battle of ideas. They have lost the battle of policies. They've lost the people of the United States. It's not even close. So what do? They open the border so that they can flood the country with new voters. The problem is half of, if not most of those people don't like these policies either. So he's not protecting his constituents in Illinois. And if it wasn't for Chicago, it's always the big cities for some reason. Illinois would be a red state and he'd be out on his ass. It's probably going to happen anyway. Just another billionaire out of touch with everybody else. Brian from High Impact Flicks says people are more concerned with the outcome of an election than with IRS collection. They're consumed with the rhetoric of racism while drowning in the evils of statism. The utter insanity is strange to watch. Yeah, this one was a good one. I don't know if you can see this one. I'm old enough to remember when we used Play-Doh and you would press it on the Sunday comics that had color and then pull the Play-Doh off of the comics and it would be on the Play-Doh. And we thought that was the coolest thing ever. And this guy says, how we stole memes back in the day. That was a good one. Okay, Jake Shields, MMA fighter, said Israel soccer hooligans went to Amsterdam to cause problems. They tore down flags and mocked dead Palestinians. The people got mad and beat them up. Now they're playing the victim. With social media, the world can see what is actually happening. Not just social media, Jake. So this social media in particular, the platform of X, they won't see any of that anywhere else, but they will see it on X. And it will get around the world. Your truth will spread around the world before this MSNBC media can propagandize it. After Trump dominated the vote among men of all demographics, the Democrats have solved the problem. We need to move men in a feminist direction. This guy has the answer. We need to move men in a feminist direction.
Lance.
Okay, doofus, that's not going to work for you. You tried that already. That's why no one likes you. Okay, Doc says, think logically. If you truly believe this is a military operation, then you must also believe that the last 4 years were set up like a sting operation to some degree. You would also believe that the military has identified all credible targets and threats. You would also believe that the military has identified, I read that one already. You would also believe that the bad actors have either been replaced or are currently being watched like a hawk watches a mouse. If you believe all this, but you're wondering why it's so quiet, maybe you should stop wondering. Yeah, this is all about the Q stuff. Trust the plan. Nothing can stop what's coming. On and on and on. There's so many people that are just crazy about this whole Q plan. Yeah, anyway. Okay, let's continue on. Wall Street apes. More white liberal women buying blue bracelets to signal to each other that they voted for Kamala. This woman says, I don't know how many people will see this, but can somebody let me know of a black-owned business for me to buy my blue bracelet? Why are they all looking for black-owned businesses? This is like the sixth video I've seen of them asking for it. Here's a typical white liberal woman, old woman, my generation, that is absolutely clueless. When are you going to shave your head?
This because this is my first TikTok. But can somebody let me know of a black-owned business for me to buy my blue bracelet?
Never trust anybody that has a downward smile. You see this? These people are miserable. They've been miserable their whole lives. They've made bad choices their whole lives. Even if this woman tried to smile, it would still go down. You see that? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's on every one of them. They have the downward smile, a perpetual frown. They can't help it. They can't even help it. That's just the way their face looks now. Diane Jackson wants to know, why are they doing this? What is this supposed to prove? This election was the first legitimate one in years, and these stupid people are becoming even dumber. I'll ignore every person who thinks they're proving anything except for their stupidity. I'm imagining that's a reply to someone. I don't really know what that means other than, election shenanigans. Seems like there should be a surplus left over. Yeah. Just get these Harris Walsh 2024 bands and wear those everywhere you go. Shave your head and wear one of these blue bands so everyone knows what a fucking idiot you are. Perfect idea. All right. What is this? Is this Kinzinger? Adam Kinzinger? I believe so. Let's see what he's got to say.
What in the hell is this? What in the hell is this?
That is your country, pal. Mighty red, isn't it? And you only have a little bit on the West Coast and a little bit on the East Coast, and the rest of the country says, get out of our lives. We want to be left alone. Are we still on the, okay, we're still on the post of blue bracelets. So let's continue on the mainstream. Well, this guy says he wants to know the outlet. He wants to know the outcome, so we probably won't see what's going to happen here. But let's just see what this is.
Aren't you in enough trouble?
No.
You're gonna be.
Why?
You're gonna be in a fucking hospital if you don't get out of here.
No, you can't bring a weapon out on me.
Yes, I can, because I have one.
Okay.
Okay, now get the fuck out of here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You just fucked up, pal. I know you think you're a tough guy, but that's going to backfire on you.
Get! What's your name?
Dennis Kissington.
Dennis
Get the fuck out of here.
Kissington.
Yes. Get out of here.
You're going to jail, bud.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
too fucking old for that now. Get out of here.
Too bad we don't know the outcome of that. Dennis Tiffington very well could be going to jail. Maybe there's something in the comments. What? Who was Dennis Tissington and how did he die? Uh-oh, the old guy is now dead. Well, I'll be darned. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's just move on. I don't wish bad on people. I certainly don't wish for them to be dead. But justice in that case would be good. Anyway, let's move on. Can't wait for the health department to be run by the guy who drinks his son's blood and the guy whose brain is half eaten by worms. Says Zach Bornsteins. Yeah, this Brian Johnson dude, he's a strange fellow. He's a millionaire or billionaire, and he's on this reverse aging thing. And I don't know about drinking his son's blood. I don't think he drinks it. I think what they do is they drain his blood while simultaneously pumping his younger son's blood into him. He's not drinking it. Of course, these guys exaggerate, but it is strange at the same time. However, is this guy really against people trying to figure out how to be more healthy? This guy thinks the health department is fine the way it is? I mean, come on. There can definitely be improvements. I'm not watching that. This is Tim Wall's wife, who's completely a psycho. Glorious news. Censorship will be prosecuted by law. Anyone in big tech that colluded with government officials and the government officials themselves that kept truth from the public will be held accountable for their actions. Lives have been lost due to criminals that attacked our constitutional right to free speech. Trump tells us his plan. It's plain and simple. Yeah.
For those that have been banned and censored.
This is the video I wanted to show at the very beginning of the my live stream here, but this isn't the one, but it's Trump's talking about what he's going to do to government officials who've taken part in censorship. It's all awesome. And like Harry says, glorious news. Let's give this one a like. Justine Bateman. The fact that 40,000 of you started following this count over just the past 2 days is evidence that we are starved for comedy. Comedy was first on the chopping block years ago, but we need it. Yeah, well, the leftists killed comedy. The leftists killed comedy because they're offended by everything. They can't wait to be offended. They can't tell you. They can't wait to tell you what a terrible person you are because you said X word. Whatever that word happens to be for them that day, all that shit's coming to an end. This woke crap is going away. Rob Schneider says, hey, Jimmy Kimmel, it's me, Wheezy, the unvaccinated person who a few years ago you said you didn't want doctors to help if I was in the hospital, but would rather have me die in the hospital corridor. That was hard to watch because we were censored and kicked off social media if we dared question the government's narrative. But you weren't censored. You were free to say whatever you wanted, including making those who disagreed with you get more attacked and feel more isolated. But the other night's emotional monologue of yours was not as hard to watch. Please save your tears. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, a grown man, went on TV and started crying because Trump won the election. A grown man went on TV and started crying. Please save your tears for the American mom and dad who, for the last 4 years, because of Democrat policies, had to decide whether they should buy groceries or fill their gas tank so they could either feed their family or drive their children to school and then drive to work because they couldn't afford both. You see, it's easy for you and Oprah to lecture hardworking American parents who both have to work and make ends meet and live paycheck to paycheck because you and Oprah are rich, fly private planes, and if food prices go up 26%, it doesn't affect you or your family at all. If the price of avocados went up to $5,000, you and Oprah would just eat $5,000 guacamole. Wealthy liberal elites who live in guard-gated communities are immune from the destructive democratic policies that have so deteriorated our nation's cities. The average American family is not afforded that same luxury or safety. This is why X is taking over the media. We, the people, are now the media, and this is why it's taken over, because you can get your message out without being censored. Schneider continues, I would say a better focus of your emotions would be on repairing your Democratic Party that moves so far left that they left the American people behind. So you are mistaken in your monologue when you said that Americans who voted for Trump made a mistake too. No, sir. The American people made a correction against policies that they could no longer stomach and policies that their country could no longer afford. And it was an overwhelming majority of Americans who made their choice, a choice for a better, more affordable America, where free speech is not under attack, but reaffirmed. Make no mistake, this election is an overwhelming and clear mandate for change, and change is needed, and change is coming. He goes on to say, I sincerely wish you and all the people who voted differently than me all my very best, and I will continue to cheer for your success and for the success of all Americans. Respectfully, Rob Schneider. Unlike all the people on the left who absolutely cheer for your utter failure. They want you jobless, homeless, and on the street begging for an apology. The leftists are out of their minds, absolutely out of their minds. And Rob Schneider summed it up there very well. 122,000, 123,000 now likes. Let's give that one a like. The orchestrated advertiser boycott against X and popular podcasts must end immediately. Conspiracy and restraint of trade is prosecutable crime. Elon Musk agrees with that sentiment. I think all of their corruption is going to come crashing down in the next 4 years. It's really going to be in these next 2 years, because Trump's going to have the House and the Senate. Who knows what happens in midterms? They usually go the other direction in the midterms. However, for the first 2 years, he has complete control. And I don't think he's going to take him 2 years. Trump has figured out how this works. When he first came in, he was not a politician. He was in their circle, but he didn't know what was going on. He didn't know how this worked. He got bulldozed over. He found out what actually is in. He had a bunch of backstabbers. He had Paul Ryan as his House Speaker, and Paul Ryan in the House and John McCain in the Senate were working against him day and night. What he has done since then, he had those 4 years and the next 4 years. Trump is a smart person. He has figured out how it works. It's not going to take him 4 years. I'd be surprised if it takes him a year to destroy the deep state and everything that these non-government organizations have built. The no-name, unknown, unnamed, unelected bureaucrats that actually run Washington. Their reign of terror and censorship and power over you is over. And it ain't going to take him no 4 years. He knows what's going on. Because DC Drano says if Trump didn't win, he would have died in prison. Many of his top advisors and supporters would have died in prison. Most big influencers would have been banned. Guns would be seized, amnesty for illegals, Senate filibuster gone, Supreme Court expanded with Marxist judges, permanently rigged elections, possible World War III and Civil War. That's the difference. And I don't think that's hyperbole. Maybe some of it is a little bit, but what a different country we're about to grow into than what it would have been had that empty-headed, incompetent Harris somehow managed to win. Ariel says Donald Trump's July 13 assassination plot was in response to the Supreme Court immunity decision, which was July 1st. They were banking on Jack Smith this entire time. I already told you all January 6th was designated to prosecute D. Trump for January 6th. Okay, let's continue. They didn't plan on killing him out in the open, but since they knew Trump was going to be able to legally run, they knew time was not on their side. By the way, all of Jack Smith's charges have been dropped. This is why I will always say that they had 3 attempts on his life that we have all seen fail one after the other. Okay, that's getting a little more than I want to get into. All right, let's see if we can find one last one here before we wrap it up for today. This fine Aloha Friday. Real Ben says, I still think the unvaccinated deserve financial restitution for discrimination, psychological damage, and lost wages. We can never let them forget or get away with what they did in 2020. From both standpoints, from the election standpoint and the pharmaceutical standpoint, there must be justice. Must be. Breaking from the Daily Wire. FEMA directed relief workers to skip houses that displayed Trump signs. That's fine. We're coming for you too. We're coming for you too. I don't know what that's about. I don't want to know. Okay, another anti-Trump. Yeah, Rick Scott. This is the guy. This is the guy that we need in charge of the Senate. He is an America First senator. They're floating, this guy named Thune and some other knucklehead, I can't remember, but they're rhinos. They're the uniparty. We can't have it. We cannot have any more uniparty, and Trump will take over. They're telling Trump, don't get involved with our Senate bullshit. Trump has a mandate to get what he wants to get done, accomplished. And like I just talked about, he now knows how to do it. And it starts with getting a leader in the Senate who is America First, and that's Rick Scott, and a leader in the House who is America First. And it's not that guy that's in there now, Johnson. So that's what needs to happen. 2 good, solid America First leaders in the House, in the Senate, with Trump as a president, able to push his agenda through, dismantle the deep state, punish censorship, get rid of it on every single platform so Americans can freely speak and discuss issues, even if you don't like it. Too bad. There's lots of people's opinions. I scrolled through a bunch of them just on this live stream. There's a bunch of opinions I don't like. So what? Those people have a right to say it. I don't like it. I don't listen to it. It's as simple as that. You don't have to get all offended and butthurt and rant and rave about how we need to shut everything down and cancel everybody. No. Let them say whatever they want. It'll sort itself out in the public opinion. They'll be ostracized on their own. People will quit listening to them. If you don't like the message, you won't listen to it. It's as simple as that. And that's what we need going forward. And that's going to do it for this Aloha Friday. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you all on Monday with more news from X. Salty Boomer signing out. Aloha. All right.